picture, and that's it. Away they go. And Whaat Fettle gets away a little bit slowly, but as they race towards the first fence, the runners well grouped, headed by Mr. Setaside and Merry Master. Merry Master jumps the first in the lead, followed by Mr. Setaside. They're all over the first. A slight mistake there by Mr. Boston. And already there's about a dozen lengths between first and last. First is the top weight, Merry Master. Settled in second place, Mr. Setaside, and after those two come Carousel Rocket. And then together, Just So, who was runner-up in this race last year, and Mr. Boston. They're turning for home on this, the first circuit. Two complete circuits still ahead of them, and Merry Master leads with G. Armitage as they come to this open ditch. Merry Master lands first from Mr. Setaside, and then after those two, now with a white cap, that's Dubious Jake over on the inside, right against the far side. That is Just So. Just behind him, Bold Spartan. There's a plain fence, the third in the race, with Merry Master again touching down first. And the one who's gone at the back of the field is Fettle and a Hincher. Fettle and a Hincher down at the second fence in the straight, fence number 3. That leaves 13 runners. The horse is up on his feet very quickly. He's all right. And just looking back to the jockey, and again, he's standing as well. Meantime, Merry Master clears the next in front of Dubious Jake, now second, then Mr. Boston in the same colours in third. 4 is Just So, 5 now Whaat Fettle, 6 Mr. Setaside, 7 Carousel Rocket. After those in 8th place is Bold Spartan, 9 Usher's Island, 10 Bluff, Knoll, 11 is Off the Brew, 12 is the favourite, that's Into the Red, and 13th and last now is Regal Estate. So 2 circuits to go as they take the water jump for the first time, and it's still the top weight, Merry Master making it. Merry Master by roughly 2 lengths from in second place, Dubious Jake, 3 Mr. Boston, and then after those together come on the outside Whaat Fettle with Just So, and then reading back to Mr. Setaside with Bold Spartan, then Usher's Island, and after them Carousel Rocket and Bluff Knoll. Downhill they go towards the 6th fence. Nearing this one now, Merry Master still with the advantage. That's the one on the inside, the loop sleeves. Merry Master rising at it now, jumps away a bit to his right, but he's over in the lead, and followed by Mr. Boston, and then Whaat Fettle and Dubious Jake, and after them Mr. Setaside. A shortish run then to number 7, with the starting prices Into the Red heading the market at 3 to 1, and it's 8 to 1 bar the 1. Into the Red at the moment is some way off the pace, but these are early stages yet. All told, they have 26 fences in the race. The water jump twice. There are 5 open ditches, and the remaining 19 fences are all plain ones. So turning into the far straight once more, Merry Master has increased his lead to about 3 lengths ahead of Mr. Boston, showing second. Dubious Jake with the white cap in third at the first in the far straight. That's the 8th. It will be the 8th from home next time round. Moving on to the 9th, which is the second of the open ditches. Merry Master from Mr. Boston. Merry Master nods a bit on landing, so too does Mr. Setaside midfield, but they both get away with those mistakes, and Merry Master continues to make it. Merry Master from Mr. Boston over this next fence, and just watching all those horses stream over that one. The favourite Into the Red still there midfield. He's in the all yellow jacket, but Merry Master has now been joined and just passed by Mr. Boston. So Mr. Boston becomes only the second leader in the race as he takes it up from Merry Master. Over in third, Dubious Jake for Whaat Fettle. After these, Into the Red getting closer towards the back of the field is Bold Spartan, and they now race uphill again towards what was the first. This time around it becomes number 12. Mr. Boston lands first from Merry Master, Whaat Fettle, Dubious Jake, and Into the Red making headway. Also up amongst the leading group on the outside, Mr. Setaside, and then back after him and Dubious Jake and Into the Red comes Usher's Island, followed by Bluff Knoll, and then reading back to Off the Brew, who's followed by Just So, who was second in the race last year, has quite a bit to do at this stage. Behind him, Carousel Rocket, and Bold Spartan is last. At the first in the home straight again, another open ditch. Mr. Boston has gone on by 2 or 3 lengths from Merry Master. After him, Whaat Fettle in third, and they now come to the 14th, and this is the halfway point of the Tote Eider Handicap chase. Mr. Boston still leading, and the faller there right at the back of the field is Regal Estate. Regal Estate down at that one, a fairly heavy fall, but neither horse nor rider hurt. The horse has just in fact been caught by jockey Bob Hodge. Meantime, to what becomes the final fence after another circuit, it's number 15 now, and it sees Mr. Boston leading. Mr. Boston blinkered for the first time, making the running, but followed closer still by Merrymaster. Then after a gap in third, Whaat, Fettle. 4 is Usher's Island. Usher's Island, the youngest in the field, with Andrew Larnack unable to claim any of his allowance and putting up exactly 5 pounds of overweight. At the water jump then, for the second and last time, Mr. Boston flies it from Merrymaster, Whaat, Fettle, and then Usher's Island now going strongly in 4. 5 is Mr. Setaside, 6 the favourite into the red. 7 is Off the Brew for Scotland, and after them come Dubious Jake now dropping away. Bluff, Knoll is next, then Bold Spartan making a little headway, and Just So and Carousel Rocket at the moment are a long, long way behind. So they race on towards the 17th now, with Mr. Boston and Russ Garrity still at the head of the field. Merrymaster G. Armitage in second place, and Carousel Rocket is about to be pulled up right at the back of the field. Carousel Rocket has called it a day. Carousel Rocket with Peter Niven, who is in fact putting up 4 pounds of overweight. On they go then, and coming now to the 18th fence, with Mr. Boston virtually rejoined there by Merrymaster. Usher's Island a bit of a mistake, but still there with the leaders. Within third place, Whaat, Fettle. Into the red is getting closer all the time. Now they turn away down the far side for the final time, with Merrymaster back up disputing it once more, and with the advantage of the inside position together with Mr. Boston. These two, Mr. Boston though half a length ahead as they come to the first, the 19th, the first in the back straight that is, with Mr. Boston and Merrymaster being ridden along now quite strongly. To close on the leaders is Mr. Setaside over the next ditch, and here it was Mr. Boston from Merrymaster, a bit awkward in second. G. Armitage in some sort of trouble there, as Merrymaster loses 2 or 3 places. Whaat, Fettle now goes up second, with Into the Red third, and then after those, Off the Brew now making a little ground at the next fence, and the leader, Mr. Boston, by a good 2.5 from Whaat, Fettle into the red, and then Off the Brew. Mr. Setaside comes next, then Usher's Island, with Dubious Jake following. Mr. Boston, though, from Whaat, Fettle and into the red, the favourite getting ever closer. After him is Off the Brew on the outside. Off the Brew 5 pounds over for Tim Reed, who took the third race, and they're coming now to the final 5 furlongs. Mr. Boston stands off well, jumps in perfectly from in second place on the inside. Whaat, Fettle. 3 is now into the red, going very well. In 4, Off the Brew. 5 after them is Usher's Island, and in 6th place Mr. Setaside. And these leaders are all bunching as they enter the final half mile, and that group are clear now of Merrymaster, who made all the early running, and Bluff, Knoll, who in turn is clear of Dubious Jake, Bold Spartan, and Just So. At the first and straight, the last open ditch, and here over, and the faller there is Off the Brew. Off the Brew, when in contention the time has gone, and that has left Whaat, Fettle over on the inside, whose rider has lost his cap. Should be an orange cap, you can just see the black crash helmet, but he now oh, and he's gone there. Whaat, Fettle, when in front at the time, has unshipped his rider there, Michael Maloney, and that has left the favourite in front. Into the red then, in the lead, with Norman Williamson from Usher's Island now second, attended by a loose horse, but with just 1 to jump. This is the 26th and final fence, and it's the favourite who clears it well. Into the red from Usher's Island over a definite second. Coming through to third now, Bluff, Knoll, ahead of Mr. Setaside. Very awkward in fourth, after him a tired Mr. Boston, and then Merrymaster. But close home, the only horse in your picture, he's the only one in the race in the end, wins it easily, he's right down. That is the favourite, Into the Red. Into the Red of Norman Williamson win the Tote Eider Handicap chase in great style. Usher's Island is second. In third place, Bluff, Knoll, and Mr. Setaside just stays on to be fourth in front of Merrymaster, and then Mr. Boston, Just So, who never got into the race this year. After him, Dubious Jake, and Bold Spartan is the last finisher. 3 to 1 favourite then, Into the Red, justifying that favouritism.